You have to believe in yourself. It's your words that are important, not somebody else's. And if you don't use that, you're not going to make it.
Let's talk about the writing of What's Up.
I think I came up with the chorus first, and I was just like, that's it.
How did your life change?
I got more depressed. I said, I'm done.
You had success with that band and
Yep.
you walked away from it.
Yes, I did.
But then within 2 years, you become like a super in-demand producer.
Linda Perry.
Linda Perry.
Linda Perry.
She was different.
Christina Aguilera comes to the table.
No matter what. At that moment, I had to realize that either I'm going to be an artist or I'm going to be a producer, but I can't do both.
The whole game changed for you.
And I had just written Get the Party Started as a joke. You know, I'm pushing on the MPC and I'm like laughing, going, holy shit, I just wrote a fucking dance hit. Get the party started on a Saturday night.
TikTok.
I didn't even plan that one. I didn't know you were going to be covering my whole life. I'm surprised you didn't go back into the womb.
You should watch the pod, Linda. Let's go to Gwen Stefani.
What is this girl waiting for? She's got this incredible opportunity, but it's like she's waiting for something.
Your style is the tapped-in flow in writing.
There's a whole world going on in you that you have no idea about. And the only way to discover it is by just letting it come out and not try to control your words.
It's so clear that Dolly Parton and Brandy Carlisle and Christina Aguilera, all these people really love you. How does that make you feel?
So funny, I don't think I've ever been asked that before.
So here we are 30 plus years later and Four Non Blondes is back together. I didn't see that coming.
I didn't see that coming. I'm the one that was telling everybody, don't even think about it. It's never going to happen.
Go.
Let's drink both Love kicking it, man.
Let's go.
Welcome back to the show. Today, I have one of the greatest songwriters and producers of all time, Linda Perry. Linda wrote some of the biggest songs of the 90s and the 2000s. She was inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame, built and ran her own label, and has become one of the most respected producers in music. We met when we worked on a Miley Cyrus record together, and so it's a great honor for me to sit here and dive deep with her today. I hope you enjoy my conversation with the amazing Linda Perry. My small team and I work really hard on the show every single week, and so I want to thank a couple of companies for their amazing support of the show. Please make sure to check them out. I want to thank our friends at Ace Studio. Now, this is a really interesting platform for you to check out. It's basically a new type of DAW that is an all-in-one workstation. So whether you're building top lines for clients, pitching cues, or cutting reference vocals, Ace Studio lets you essentially audition your ideas and print clean, editable vocals. It's built to fit into your workflow, so you stay in control of the arrangements and the mix while it works with you and even makes suggestions for you. I feel like this approach to DAWs and producing music is how everything is evolving, so I recommend checking it out now, as Ace Studio is a glimpse into the future. If you're producing, writing, or scoring, it is definitely worth checking out. So if you're into it, go to acestudio.ai and mess around with it. I want to give big thanks to our friends at DistroKid. DistroKid is the easiest, fastest way to get your music on Spotify, Apple Music, TikTok, YouTube Music, and over 150 platforms worldwide. For as little as $2 a month, you can release as many songs as you want and keep 100% of your earnings. DistroKid also has a mobile app and a ton of free features to help you promote your music. Head on over to distrokid.com/VIP/Elmo to get 20% off your first year. Thank you so much for supporting the show. Let's get into the episode. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Today's guest is someone you already know. A voice, a force, a truth teller, no disguise. The kind that writes the songs that change people's lives. From screaming what's going on to making the whole world feel seen, she turned pain into anthems, made vulnerability mainstream. She's a woman of many hats, and she wears them all. Christina, Dolly, Gwen, they know who to call. A hit maker, a breaker, a builder of art, a fearless creator who leads from the heart. So before we dive deep, and get carried away, you know I got to say it and just get it out of the way. I said, hey, what's going on? It's Linda Perry.
First of all, that's my new bio. Gene, get a copy of that.
We'll send it to the team.
It is my new bio. That's it. I don't even know how to go back from that. Like, that's it. That explained everything and was fun. Because you know how bios are like, you know, you're like trying to stretch out like this amazing thing. It's just like, why can't it just be Linda Perry? Yeah. But that was it. That's my bio. I'm totally not joking. I'm literally putting that on my bio.
That means a lot coming from you.
Yep. And I'll
not
give
to
you
send
credit.
it to you, but the fact that you're a writer, you're going to give me writing credit?
Of course.
Do I get producer credit?
Huh?
See what I did there? Great to see you.
Nice to see you.
Thanks for coming over.
Thanks for having me. I'm really excited.
It's great. Well, you're super busy right now. You got a lot going on.
I am.
You got your movie. You got the new album. You got a single.
And I'm a mom, and I got 4 Non-Blondes. There's a lot of stuff.
I watched Let It Die Here last night.
Okay.
It was awesome. It was incredible.
Thank you.
We're going to wait for you all to see it, but it's amazing. You got to go see it when it comes out in May. But wow, you let it all out in that. It was incredibly vulnerable and beautiful.
Thank you. It's probably because I had no idea we were making a documentary. And, you know, I think that sometimes with, you know, creating and, you know, being in that space, we all have our vulnerabilities. We all have our breakdowns. And weirdly enough, while the camera was rolling, it happened, you know, and it was like, wow, you know, it took me a long time to even see it because he kept on, Don Hardy, an incredible director. He saw it before I even knew what was going on. He already saw within the first couple hours of just being in my studio, there was something, you know? Yeah. So anyways, but it was funny. Like, he was like, okay, you have to come see it. I'm like, I don't want to see it. He's like, but it's about you. I go, I don't care. I don't want to see it, you know? So it's intense for me.
Yeah. I think it's intense for the viewer as well. I can only imagine watching it on your own and having the confidence to put it all out there and be vulnerable with it. And
not controlling, you know, that wonderful thing. I wish I had discovered this earlier in my career, or not even career, just in life, but letting go of control has been the most amazing, most rewarding thing for me. And because I am a control freak, I mean, heavily. Yeah. All of it, the OCD, everything. And it is hard for me to let my career, my life go into somebody else's hands. Not because I don't trust, but maybe because, I guess I don't trust. I guess it is that. Yeah. But with that film, and actually a lot of stuff I've been doing lately has just been like, Linda, I think there's a documentary here. I don't want to hear about it. Just do what you want to do. Show it to me when you feel it's done. But I don't want to see I don't want to see it. I don't want clips. I don't want to approve anything. If I said it, I said it. If I did it, I did it, and I'll stand behind it. Yeah. But I don't want to hear about it. And then he just was like laughing, going, love it, you know? And I just let it go.
When did you let go of control?
That during then. So whatever that
the beginning of,
it was the beginning of that, you know? And then shit started happening that were out of my control. And it was like, almost like, you know, I'm witchy that way about when it's time for me to do something. And listen, I'm not saying I love the documentary because it is pretty raw. Yeah. You know, like it's embarrassing to me, but I'm like, I understand why this might be important.
I think a lot of people will relate to you even more and be just more attached to you than they even were before and feel seen in a lot of ways. And
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And so now that you have let go of control with the film, have you let go of control musically or is that a daily?
No, it's a daily
Yeah.
practice. But
Yeah.
so yesterday I shot a video because I have, this album coming out, Let It Die Here. And it's coming out with the documentary. But there's a song on there called Feathers in a Storm. And I had an idea. And I just presented the idea. And the idea was like, I'm seeing like some visuals in the back. I want to do everything low down and dirty.
Yeah.
I don't want to spend, $15,000 on a video at all, but I want it to be creative. So I put the team together and I said, this is the idea. You guys take it from here. And, Gara, my stylist, was like, anything I want? I'm like, anything you want. She's like, anything I want to do. Anything you want to do. And then the makeup girl, I'm like, whatever you want to do. Make this your guys' portfolio. Like, will you want to show this?
I love that.
In your portfolio? They're like, oh my God. And then the director, the same thing. Just do what you want to do. Here's the guidelines of the idea, but it's all up to you. I didn't say I didn't look at the monitor once. I just went to my spot, went to my cue, and did what I was supposed to do. I didn't even look in the mirror what I was wearing. I just was like, okay, I'm trusting you guys. And you know what that did? It made everybody feel like heard, seen. It made them want to do more. It made them want to work harder. Like everybody was like this is for me now. It's not just about Linda and her video. Like this is something for us as well. And that feeling that I felt yesterday was like, oh, I should have been doing this sooner. I probably would have been further along in my career if I would have let go of control more. But, whatever. It's never too late, And so, it's a daily process, a work in process. But yesterday was really, really interesting.
Yeah.
It was like, okay.
You're trusting them, you're empowering them, you're giving them ownership.
Yeah.
And now it's a real collaboration and make everyone go. It'll probably make them do their best work ever because it's for them as well.
But I think the key was they were like, well, what do you think of this? I'm like, what do you think? Will you put this on your Instagram and be proud of it on your would you put this in your book? And they're like, yes. I'm like, then you've answered the question.
Yeah.
So anyway, so it was a great lesson.
Yeah.
I had a really incredible lesson yesterday.
I think that's something that we all struggle with.
Yeah.
Especially people who lead their worlds.
Yeah. Well, I'm also a survivor. I'm from trauma, as you saw the movie. And that makes you control everything because it's like, well, I'm not going to, if I can't trust the people that brought me into this world, why should I trust anybody else? So you get like, very like limited, like my world gets very small because I'm like, okay, well, and then being then switching over to producer and songwriter, all, people are coming to you, like they're coming to you to do, because they believe that you're going to put together this really amazing, podcast and what you're doing. So therefore I'm just going to rely on you. Right. So that's what I think a producer gets hired for. It's like, they're coming to me to do my thing. So as a producer, you do start getting controlling because you're being hired to do your thing. If they thought the artist could do their thing on their own and the artist felt they could do it on their own, then they would be doing it. Mm-hmm. But they don't trust that they can do it. So let's go hire, so-and-so to go do it. So there is a certain controlling thing that happens as a producer. It's like, well, I got to do my job. And I believe that this is what is going to be the best way, fighting Christina on her beautiful video. Yeah. Beautiful vocal. Yeah. Like she wanted to re-sing that for 7 months. And I said, no. And she got mad at me.
Wow.
She kept getting upset at me. And I'm like, I have to put my foot down on this, Christina. I believe in my heart, if I let you sing the song again, you are going to ruin it, And she just was like, was so offended when I'd say that because it's her demo vocal. And I knew when she sang that, I'm like, that's the vocal right there, right? So then after 7 months, she's like, please, it's my record. Let me re-sing this song. And I'm like, okay. if you want to. So I, we had tape, back then, pushing the tape, put and record. And she's just like instantly, every day I miss you. And then she stopped. Like I went like that. I'm like, done. And she's like, started laughing. She's like, you're so right. I'm about to ruin the song. And then she just let it go because she had to find out herself, right? But so anyway, so that's what I'm saying. We have to be in control somewhat because that's what you're being hired to do. So anyways, so it's the music business fucks you and life fucks you. And at some point you got to figure out how to unfuck all that stuff. And it's a fine line, because sometimes it takes years, sometimes never. You never find out. But hey, I don't mind finding out now. And it's like, at least I'm open to learn. That's how I can look at it.
Well, congratulations on finding out.
Thank you.
It's a big deal.
Thank you. Woo!
It's a new Linda Perry, ladies and gentlemen.
I wouldn't go that far.
It's the same Linda Perry. Slightly evolved.
Slow your roll.
Slightly evolved. Well, let's talk about Beautiful for a moment.
Okay.
And then we'll go back into the early days. But since you just released your version of Beautiful, if you didn't know, Linda wrote and produced the smash Christina Aguilera hit Beautiful, which is such a powerful song, such an empowering song, incredible. So now you just dropped your version finally, all these years later, and it's getting a ton of traction on radio. You just played Kimmel and all this stuff. And the video is really beautiful too. And it's a family affair.
It is.
In the video, right? You had Sarah direct it.
Yeah,
you had
Sarah
your daughter
Gilbert directed and Rhodes starred in it, our child. And
yeah, your child is very beautiful in
Yeah.
it. There's a moment in it where Rhodes is singing to you. How does it feel to have your daughter look at you and sing your lyrics of a song that you wrote years before they were born?
Well, I think the whole concept was, when Sarah came up with it, I asked her, I said, hey, I need to do a video for Beautiful. Do you want to direct it? And she was like, what? Why me? I'm like, why not you? It's a great, you're so talented. And she's like, I've never done a video before. I'm like, so that doesn't mean you can't do a video, right? So anyways, she's like, well, if I come up with an idea, when I listen to it, I'll let you know. I'm not going to say no, or I'm not going to say yes. So 4 minutes later, she calls me back. It's like, I saw the video already, and try to tell me the concept. And I'm like, I don't want, letting go of control. I'm like, I don't need to know about it. And she was all, what? I'm like, I don't need to know about it. Just do the video that you want to make. And so it was her concept to do the whole thing. And I just showed up and said, tell me where you want me to go. What do you want me to dress? I would never put on that outfit, but it fit what she wanted the video to look like. I'm like, okay, then that's what I will wear. No, nothing. I didn't gripe about anything. Just show up. And Rhodes was amazing. Like the fact that Rhodes could carry the story. And when we have that moment singing together, and I grab that beautiful, delicate hand and kiss it. And it was just, it's all this incredible emotion that goes through your body, watching your child blossom in front of your face, with all these people watching, never done that before, and stole the show. And so for that, it's like, I'm proud.
Yeah.
And to think about what the song is about, it's about people struggling with who they are, what they want to be, and how other people are so quick to judge and criticize and call someone, names simply because someone's in search of who they are. We don't come on this planet. We're not born with who we are. It's our parents and all the doctors and the people that we meet at school and the teachers and society that start kind of, affecting who we become.
Yeah.
And it's us as human beings to figure out who we are in this. And some people choose not to experiment and explore and are just happy is I'm going to be I'm going to be this because that's what I'm being told I am. Because there are parents that just tell their child who they are.
Yeah.
Where Sarah and I were like, explore. There's so many things out there that you could be.
Yeah.
Explore them all. And there's adults that are still trying to explore who they are. My sister is still exploring with who she is as a person on this planet. So anyways, that's what I think the intention of the video was, is that we are all just exploring who we are, and we should have the room to do so and not be judged for being on a journey.
Yeah.
So Sarah did such an amazing job conveying that. And it wasn't until I saw the video did I know what the video was about.
Wow.
Because I didn't read. She kept on going, so you understand that this is where, and I would go, oh yeah, okay, and I had no idea what she was talking about. So I just did my part, but I kind of wanted. Then she was like, do you want to be a part of the editing? I'm like, no, just show me the video that you're proud of. And so she's like, do you want to see the video? I go, is it done? Are you proud of it? Are you done? She's like, I think so. And I'm like, okay, great. Let's watch it.
And that was it?
And that was it.
Wow.
It's like amazing. I got teary. I'm like, it's beautiful.
Wow. Well, you're trusting the people around you and they're executing and
yeah. So I guess that was my first experiment because I didn't even think about that one. I was like, it was so natural to let Sarah guide this process because she's so talented and I'm so happy for her because she's getting a lot of, pats on the back for it because I knew she would be great. I knew she's got such a great eye for details and story. And, she's been in this business a long time.
Absolutely. Well, yeah, everyone go watch the video. So you wrote Beautiful not for Christina Aguilera. No. It ended up with Christina Aguilera, but I'd love to go back to the writing of that song. So paint me a picture. Where were you at that time? Where did you write it? How were you feeling in order for that song to come out of you?
So before I moved to Los Angeles, I was in San Francisco. And I believe I started the process of that song. I think I started the piano part at the top. And I never went back to it, right? And it was when I moved to LA and that house that you came to, that's now my studio. I don't live there, but it's my studio now. I was sitting in there on my Ludwig piano, 1809, I think, actually, not 19. And I was like, oh, I remember that song, and I started playing it. And then the song started developing. And I remember I had a melody, but it wasn't time for that. Sometimes I'll leave things because I feel like it's not time for me to start that song, but I'll get ideas all the time. And so I started every day. The words, everything just comes. When I write a song, everything shows up at the same time. It's like as if I just mentally or creatively pushed play and the song is playing in an earbud and I'm just copying what's happening, right? So I'm just playing the song every day. Maybe some words are flubbed or whatever. And then I'm like, I am beautiful no matter what. And then I just was like, no, I am not beautiful. I can't say that. I don't think that. I think quite opposite. I'm actually a weird, strange looking human being, and I would never put myself in a beautiful category. And, I'm so like hard on myself. I'm never good enough. I'm blah, blah, blah. And a statement like I am beautiful, I don't know, for some reason for me, it sounded like when you say I am beautiful, that means you have all this confidence that you are stunning, your brain is clear, your heart is pure, there's no damage. I don't know why, but that's what beautiful represented to me at the time, because I don't think I've ever used the word before. honestly, I don't even think I've even used that word, in my vocabulary. So when it showed up, it was like, I can't say that, like, and then I walked away from the piano. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. And then I was just like, Linda, you always tell everybody, if a song is there, don't edit, just write it, And so I went back to the piano and I finished it. And to make myself feel better, I was like, you are beautiful. We are beautiful. Okay. That makes me feel a little bit better, And so I just finished the song and the song just sat. And then it wasn't until Christina. But when I finished it, I thought, this could be like an important song for me. That maybe this is my, maybe the way I introduce myself back into,
as a solo artist,
as a solo artist, right? But I put it aside, and then Christina showed up.
Like a week later, a year later?
It was like, no, like it was maybe like, it could have been like anywhere from 2 weeks to a month later.
Okay.
She comes, in, and I have a rule that no managers, no entourage. So she shows up by herself. She gets dropped off by her security guy. And she's like kind of in the house. And I could tell she was uncomfortable without her people.
Because she's like peak superstar in this moment.
She's huge.
Yeah.
And she's like, can you like play me a song or something to break the ice? I love your voice. And so I'm like, okay, well, that song was its freshest. So I've like sat down and I played Beautiful, and I just hear.
You played it and sang it for her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I hear, her feet getting closer and closer. And then I'm here. And then by the time I'm done with the song, she's standing right here. And mind you, she was on the other side of the house. And I'm like, whatever, and finish it. And I'm like going, I'm shocked that she's so close. And she's like, can you demo that for me and write down the lyrics? And I'm like, why? And she's like, because I want to do that song for my album. And I'm like thinking to myself, you can't sing a song saying I am beautiful, because you are beautiful and blah, 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 blah. So I had a hard time. I was all up with this because it was opposite of everything the song actually is, right? The way I was thinking was completely opposite. So then she says that, and I'm like, well, my manager at the time says, well, why don't you just hear her sing it and see what happens? I'm like, okay, I can do that. She's like, don't make any decisions. I'm like, okay, I can do that. So she comes in like a week later, paper in hand, and she asked if she could bring a friend. I said, of course. I demoed down the piano, start, and then she looks at her friend. She's like, don't look at me. To her friend.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I got chills. And I said, oh, it is her song. She's just as insecure as I am. She just has a nicer look, than I do, whatever. Like, I get it. And then it all made sense. What the song was about is about wanting to feel that I am beautiful. Stop telling yourself that you're not. Don't let other people tell you you're not. We all are, There's a beautiful beauty in all of us in some way or form, but we are bringing this down, right? So anyways, then I had an aha moment, and I was like, oh, this song is for her. And then at that moment, I had to realize that either I'm going to be an artist or I'm going to be a producer, but I can't do both. And for some reason, the universe presented it that way to me. Right now is an opportunity to be an artist or be a producer, but you cannot be both, Linda. You have to choose one or the other. And I was like, okay, took the artist away. I'm like, producer.
That wasn't a hard decision for you.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
It was very clear. Christina made it really clear for me. It was like, that was a really big moment for me.
So she comes over, you laid down like the demo piano.
Yeah.
She cuts a demo vocal.
Yeah.
It blows your mind.
Blows my mind.
You realize what the song really is and what it is to her. And then what?
Well, then now I have the piano. And so I didn't want to touch the demo. So I added drums, bass, strings to that. And then the only thing we punched in was the bridge because we didn't know what it wanted it to be quite yet. And then she came in and she re-sang the bridge, in my studio. And it's like, oh, okay, great. And then we added the backgrounds and I added a quartet. I mean, honestly, the whole track was 16 tracks. That's it. Mind you, in a time in 2000 where it was like 120 fucking tracks people were using on like for Bipple vocals and all this shit and all this crap. And here's my innocent little 16 track.
16 track is crazy.
16. I used 16 tracks on the whole thing. And it was like perfect to me.
Wow.
With all its flaws. And, it wasn't the best produced track either. Like I was still, figuring out drum sounds and things. I was still, I'm new to this.
You're new to being a producer.
I mean, I just became a producer with Pink.
Yeah.
And then that was a lot of me dicking around on samples and stupid stuff, you know? And so I didn't really know how to dial in drum sounds yet. I could only go by my ear. And I feel like for my first real, Get the Party Started, mind you, it was a huge hit. And I did produce What's Up, but I had help. I had help with this engineer to help guide me on, what to do. But those were all my sounds I dialed in. But with Christina, I didn't have help on that one. I was just dialing in all this stuff on my own. So anyways, I listened to the track and I'm like, okay, it's great. It's raw. It's awesome. It's perfect. It's exactly what I want it to be. And then cut to Ron Fair, Mr. 130 tracks is like, can't handle it. It needs more strings. It needs a bigger sounding piano. I mean, that guy tried to sneak my session and to reproduce it. I mean, it was funny. I was in Hawaii and I get a call. It's from my person going, Ron is over here trying to get the sessions of Beautiful. I'm like, no, and I go home and I'm like, no, it's not going to happen. So it was hard for him to let that go because he was her A&R guy,
And he didn't really get to A&R it. You
did it. Yeah. And this is my favorite story of Beautiful, my most favorite part of its journey. Beautiful is up for Song of the Year, right? And I see Ron Fair backstage at the Grammys. And it's number one all over the world, I mean, it's the song that resurrected her career. Yeah. People were ready to just pass her off. Yeah. But that song saved her ass, saved the company, and it went number one worldwide. So here we are at the Grammys where it's up for several awards, including Song of the Year. I run into Ron Fair and he's like, oh, it's so great to see you. And I'm like, hey, Ron, how you doing? He's like, oh, it's great. He's like, I can't wait for you to see the performance. Finally, the world is going to be able to hear this song the way it was meant to be heard.
No way.
Said that to me, right? And he's so clueless. I don't think he understood what he just said. But it was the most horrific version. It had two piano players. Why?
Two piano players.
Why is there two piano players? Full on orchestration, this ridiculous a cappella at the top. I mean, the production was ridiculous. It was so bad. It was embarrassing, and it was just terrible. And for him to say that to me at the Grammys after getting all these awards, I mean, it's like, and then went on stage and was proud of that was like shocking to me. Now, no offense to Ron. He really is a very clever, creative man. But that was, like I said, I don't even blame him. I think his ego just didn't hear what he said to me.
It's also funny that here it is getting Song of the Year, and that's still on his mind.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's
That
not
the world,
saying to you, like, you were right.
yeah,
Great job.
exactly.
Holy crap. Look at
I
this.
never even got that.
Yeah.
Like, you were right, man. I would have ruined this song. Like Christina, when she started over singing, she said to me, "You were right. I was about to ruin the song."
You brought her back. You gave her this whole new level of depth that she didn't have in her
Yeah,
career.
but she did it too because
course.
she knew that song had something.
Yes.
And she saw past it all. And she approved that 16-track recording. She
Yes.
loved it. So she really was the one that really orchestrated this and didn't really get the credit for it. You
Right.
know, like, yeah, I wrote the song, I produced it. Yeah, sure. Of course I'm supposed to get credit. You know, but
She said, this is it.
she's the one that said this is it.
Wow. And even with the demo vocal.
Yeah.
So the demo vocal. So there wasn't really vocal production then besides it was just
No.
she just performed it how
No,
she
there's
heard
no
it the first
auto-tune.
time.
There's
Yeah.
no auto-tune.
Yeah.
That's Christina.
In the time of auto-tune too.
Yeah,
in the,
that was
in the moment.
Christina singing. I didn't even know what autotune was.
was the
So I couldn't
beginning.
even put autotune on the song because I had no idea that, you know, because to me it was if you are out of tune and you're singing the vocal,
The
you were
vocal.
singing it in tune.
Yeah.
It's like nowadays, it's like, oh, just put autotune on. Like, no, why
Yeah.
don't you just re-sing it? Oh, I didn't know. Like people don't know that.
Yeah.
They don't even know that because now kids are singing with auto tune on. They don't even know they're out of tune, which is shocking to me. Like I've had people asking me to put auto tune on their voice while they're singing. I'm like, what? Why would I do that? You know, that sounds crazy. Well, because, you know, I'm just used to it. I'm like, well, get unused to it because
Yes.
this is what your voice sounds like. Here's the reality. Check it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wake up call. You are out of tune.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's why you like auto tune because it's making you sound better than you are.
Yeah.
You know, so anyways.
I mean, there's a whole generation of artists that are
it's
not
their
singers.
it's not their fault.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
not
yeah.
their fault. But they're what incredible performers. You know, it's like I guess somewhere along the line we switched out like talent of being a real artist to okay, this is a talented performer.
Yes.
You know. So we have to pat the back of whatever we get in the creative world because, you know, listen, Britney Spears may not be the greatest singer, but that girl is a great performer,
Absolutely.
you know, and she's really good with her fans. And that's what got her where she was. It wasn't her songs. It was like she was a great performer. She worked hard. That girl worked her ass off.
Absolutely.
You know, maybe she didn't write the songs and maybe the autotune was on there, but she worked.
She's the star. She's
She's
still
a
the
star,
star.
you know?
But Christina Aguilera can sing. She can sing.
Yeah. That girl, one of the best.
Wow. That
One
must
of the
be crazy to
best.
hear her cut a vocal.
Oh my God. And she is perfectionist too. Like, I mean, Christina, like I have done like strings, like when I did Stripped, Back to Basic, I got this whole, is this Stripped or Back to Basic? One of the, whatever this 2 album, I had one side, she had one side, and I had strings, horns on so many things. And she'd walk in, she's like, there's a violin out of tune, you know, and I'd be like, I mean, and my ears are great.
Yeah.
And I would like start going dissecting. I'm like, you're right. My God, girl. Like what ears on you? She's impressive.
Well, she loves you. She's in
Yeah.
the documentary as well,
Yeah.
glowing about you. As is Dolly. Oh, Dolly in the documentary is so good.
Stop
oh.
it. The documentary could have been 10 seconds long. And it was Dolly Parton saying, she's like Elvis like that. You kind of just get all mesmerized in her. You can't take your eyes off her. That was it. End of documentary.
You should make that your alarm when you wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
10 a.m., 9 a.m. Are you a morning person?
Totally. I'm up at very early.
I liked that you wanted to do 11 a.m. today.
Yeah.
'Cause sometimes people are like, can we do 5 p.m.?
Oh, yeah,
And I'm
no.
like,
I would have said 6 if I could have.
you could have. Okay, let's go back to the early days.
Yes.
I mean, we won't go too deep into this because you're all going to watch the documentary and it really covers it. But Born April 15th, 1965. You are an Aries.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Leo. That's why we got this, the fire sign thing.
Yeah.
Springfield, Massachusetts.
Mm-hmm.
And you got a packed house with your mom and your dad, 6 siblings, chaotic household.
Well, technically, 2 of the siblings were still in Brazil.
Oh, wow.
I didn't meet them till later, so it was 5, 7 with the whole family. But and then 1 joined like when I was 7, and then the other one I didn't even meet until like I was in my 20s.
And where are you in the order of?
I'm the youngest.
You're the baby.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So it was, and there was another one, but my mom lost it. So, you know, yeah. But I'll tell you, that woman was cutting them right close. Like, we're talking a year in between. It's like, man, Mom, did you not rest? It's like, bam, bam, bam.
That's intense.
Yeah.
So it was an intense household.
It was very intense.
Very intense.
Brazilian mother, very hardcore.
Portuguese father.
Yeah, from Portugal. And he was born in Portugal, raised in Boston.
Oh, wow.
Because there's a big Portuguese community out there. And he was raised as an American, you know, and it's like, because immigrants weren't cool. Hey,
pretended like you
go
weren't
figure,
back
they're
then.
not cool right now. All of a sudden, you know, time went back in time. It's like
Except
crazy.
they're the coolest people in
No,
our
of
country.
course. I'm just saying, like back then, the government, the world was saying, you know, especially in the 60s and 50s, people of color or from different countries were like scared, you know, to be in America because it was not popular to be an immigrant, you know, back then.
Right.
And it's crazy to me. Now, here we are in 2025, and it's like those rules are trying to be brought back, you know, this law, this judgment in today's time in 2026. Sorry. And it's
okay.
nuts to me.
Yeah.
It's like crazy. You know, it's like I can't even think about it. Like, our names were changed to American names. Like, my brother, his name was Solomon and was changed to Bob. And my brother was Xavier and changed to John. And my sister was something like Celia Dola, something, I can't remember how it goes. And it was changed to Sally.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my mom went from Marluce to Maria. You know, like, it's like names were changed for us to feel safer in this country, which I was born in Boston, you know what I mean? But because, you know, my family and I looked, you know, Latin, like it was weird.
Maybe that's why you're so tough, because of the
Maybe
Boston,
I mean,
actually.
I didn't even think about that part. I was 1 year old. I don't know. I got that. You know, everybody always says that I seem like I'm from the East Coast. I'm like, I was there for 1 year of my life. I was born in Boston and raised in sunny San Diego. You know, it's like, you know, it's like so calm and surfers and stoners. And
my dad's from Jersey and my mom's from Cleveland, and people think I'm from the East Coast, even though I was born in Pasadena.
Right.
It's in us. It's in us, I guess. You got the fiery Brazilian in you.
I think so.
You started writing songs at 15?
Yes.
Because that was the way you could have the voice in a crowded household, being the youngest?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think it just was in me, like, very early on. I just loved music. I just knew that I was like, if I saw a piano in a store, I would go and tinker on it. You know, my brother John was an incredible guitarist, and just loved him, and he was so cool and rock and roll. And I just wanted to be like him, you know? And so I really kind of started, you know, listening to what he was doing, and I picked up everything by ear, and I just gravitated towards it because it felt like a natural thing for me. But I didn't know until I was like 20, until I moved to San Francisco, did I know, oh, I'm going to be a rock star. You know, it took me that long.
That wasn't part of your move.
No, it wasn't. You know, I was just like, thought it was just something that I did. And I was writing songs, like I wrote a song called Pity Girl, and it was all about girls that were suicidal. I wrote a song called Desperate about a prostitute, you know, and this is what's coming out of me at 15 years old. And, writing like very deep, songs. And, I didn't think that was going to do anything. And then also I had a very Sade, everything but the girl kind of, girlfriend Ipanema kind of voice, very like, "Duh, duh, duh." And I loved it. And then it wasn't until San Francisco did this huge voice come barreling out, because I wrote a song called Down on Your Face. And then all of a sudden this song, this voice comes out. And that's when I discovered like, oh,
When you started belting.
this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
And this is obviously before Four Non-Blondes.
Yeah. Then I met those guys later.
You were in San Francisco for a few years first, right?
I was there for about a year and a half. 87, I got there, and I met them in 89.
Oh, okay. So not long.
Yeah.
And you were doing the
Solo, just
solo thing, playing on the
jumping
street,
on-
playing in a bar, playing
I was
in
on
wherever.
the streets.
Yeah.
I was jumping up on bar stools in restaurants I'd play to just get some food,
Yeah.
and there was this place, Spaghetti Western, which was great. It was like a very popular place. And I just walked over there one day and I said, I was hungry and I was like, can I play and for like breakfast? And the owner just liked me for some reason. And he's like, sure. So every Sunday I would go there and I'd jump on these stools and be high up above, and I'd just play, and they'd give me breakfast. And sometimes I'd go around and, serve coffee. And then he offered me a job. He's like, do you want to be a hostess? I'm like, yeah. I go, what do I have to do? And, didn't know. And he's like, you have to do I was so mean because I didn't understand. I didn't understand how people could wait an hour to sit down and eat. I was like, and I would like, there's a restaurant down the street you guys could go to, but I got this reputation as being this mean waitress, but I was funny too. And so the crowd, it got bigger and people started coming just to see the crazy hostess, and how mean I was, but I was also nice, too. But it's like, so it was like a show. I guess I put on a show for people.
Did you play into the character of that?
I did.
Like,
and so I was like, it was funny to people. And I would come out drinking champagne going, oh my God. And I'd sit down at people's tables drinking, and people just loved it. And he loved that I did that. So I got an actual job, but then I would just show up at, night break or wherever. Hey, do you need somebody to get up on stage? Then I opened up for Deborah IL. I opened up for X. I opened up for Bob Mole,
Sick.
Sam Phillips. There was a bunch of people I was starting to open. I was getting well known in San Francisco. And then that's kind of how that happened. And then Four Non Blondes came to me, and they were a band called the Snake Charmers, and they asked me, hey, do you want to be in our band? We just lost our singer. And I'm like, not really. I'm kind of into my own thing, They were like, well, come check us out. And so I went and checked them out. I'm like, oh, they're kind of fun. So I kept all my songs. I said, I'll join you guys, but I'm not going to bring my songs in. I'll sing your guys' songs. And they were just kind of like country punk songs.
Yeah.
Like, I can do that. And then, we were okay. And then I was like, okay, maybe I can combine the two because they're really great players. Like, maybe I can combine the two. So I brought my songs in. As soon as I brought my songs in, we started getting lines. I had What's Up. I was like, Dear Mr. President. And
You had What's Up already then?
I wrote What's Up in the band, like not for the band,
Right.
outside for myself, and then I brought it into the band, and because I wasn't going to.
Yeah.
And then it was Krista, the bass player, was like, you got to bring that into rehearsal. I'm like, I don't know. I didn't know. I didn't know. It was such an easy song to write. I'm like, I don't know if it's even good or not, whatever. And so I brought it in. I'm like, oh, it's a good song.
Let's talk about the writing of What's Up. So you're on your own. You're not writing it in the band setting. You're sitting, where are you?
Well, I always write alone. Once in a while I write with the band. Like, I think Shauna and me wrote Spaceman.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, mainly I write by myself.
So you had an apartment.
I had a room with a futon and a puppy dog, and for some weird reason, and and I didn't have money and I didn't understand. I'm literally sitting on my futon, and the dog had fleas, and I could see fleas jumping on me. And I believe it was like, Reagan times, and, there was like, stories left and right in San Francisco about, people, the gay community getting beaten up, like things going on all over the world about AIDS and this and that, and, the crack, on the streets, just everything. It was just bad. It was a bad scene, and nobody was taking care of anything. Nobody was doing anything. And it was just one of those random moments where I just picked up the guitar, and here I got this dog I can't be responsible for. I can't even feed myself. How am I going to feed this dog? The world is fucking going to shit. Women's abortion, the rights are being taken away once again. It's just like it's constant, women with their kids out on the street, whoring the kid out for food. It's just like I'm watching all this from my window. Yeah. And that's where Dear Mr. President came from. And so all this is still kind of happening in the same time. And then I just, started singing the song, and I think I came up with the chorus first, and I was just like, and I said, hey, because I was like, what is going on? Like literally, I was like, what's going on? And so I just, sang the chorus, and then all of a sudden I went back, and I think at one point I tried to change the chords because it was just 3 chords just repeating itself. And then I just said, no, I don't need to do that. And so I just kept changing the melody over the chords. And then I was 24, but I was like 24, no, that's 25 years of my life and still trying to get of hope, a destination. And then just words are just popping in. I realized quickly the world was made of this brotherhood of man, for whatever the fuck that means, And so it's all forming, and I played it maybe 3 or 4 times, and then all the lyrics just locked in, and then song done. Probably took about 15 minutes.
Pulled it out of the
And
ether.
then I was living in Krista's house, and she had a spare room, and she came running down and Krista's the bass player for Non Blondes. So I was in the band, but I wasn't writing songs for the band. But she comes running down. She's like, what is that? You got to bring that into rehearsal.
She heard you writing it. She's like, you're staying in my house. You got to, that's our song.
And so she's like, you got to bring that into rehearsal. I'm like, no. I'm still understanding what it is, and then when I did, I was like, okay.
So then, did you guys have the Interscope deal yet?
No.
Okay.
No.
So you're just a local
band.
band.
this is where everything starts flipping, because now I'm starting to bring my songs into the group.
Right.
So I bring in Dear Mr. President, I bring in What's Up, I bring in Pleasantly Blue, I'm just bringing in these songs, writing dumb songs, and then the lines start happening. Then we start hearing, we have no manager, we start hearing about, people showing up at our shows. We opened up for Primus at the Warfield.
Sick.
It was such a strange gig, but it was great. And then we're writing like kind of weird, funky songs, and then the lines start showing up, and then the people start showing up, and then the labels start showing up left and right. Then after we did the Primus, this manager that we wanted finally came to the table and said, okay, I'll manage you guys. And I don't even think of tape. We made a tape. I remember that. We went in to this studio. I think it was called Dancing Dog. She was awesome. She gave us a massive deal to record. She wanted to produce the record or the EP or whatever it was, 4 songs. Like, okay. And she was like, well, I'll give you the tape, like, great. So we made this cassette and we passed it to our friends. Never went to any labels. I think our manager sent one thing out. We never left San Francisco. And all of a sudden, here we are being approached with all these record deals, And I just remember not liking anybody, I didn't like their answers. Like, I kept on asking, what are you going to do with this? And they kept on telling us what they're going to do. I'm like, I don't even know what to do with those. How do you know what to do with those? You know, they all sound like fake answers. Everybody was gone. And then the band was getting pissed off at me because I just kept on declining, you know, and they're like, you're going to have to say yes to somebody. And then Tom Wally walked in from Interscope. What do you want to do with those? I don't know. Let's go make a record and find out. And I was like,
This guy.
that was the right answer.
Yeah.
And I liked him. I really liked Tom.
Yeah.
And I love Jimmy. Jimmy is a crazy cuckoo guy.
Absolutely.
He was so intimidating and crazy. Like I was like, but I loved him. You know, I was like, who was that guy? It's like, he's like a flash,
Yeah.
you know, and then out the door. And I was like, who the fuck is that? They were like, that's Jimmy Iovine. I'm like, that's Jimmy Iovine? You know, anyways, it was so funny.
That's wild.
But yeah.
I didn't realize that was Tom Wally at the time at Interscope.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys signed to Interscope. So tell me about, I've heard this story about how you go to actually make the record and you go and you cut What's Up and you don't like it.
Hated it.
Hated it.
It wasn't good. I feel like the producer just didn't hear the song and he tried to make it something it wasn't. Like he was just overthinking, like many producers do. You know, I can't even dislike him at this point anymore because he was just doing what a lot of producers do: overthink, overproduce.
Yeah.
And so I hated it. Nobody wanted to. The band was on my side, but the label wasn't. They were like, "We like the version." I'm like, "It's not. It's not. No." And so took the band. We stole a roll of tape, you know, from the studio. And nobody wanted to give us any more money. We didn't have money because you don't make money, you know, yet, you know, the money went to the making the record. And so we pulled a favor from the plant, you know, in Sausalito, and said, you know, can we come in? We have a roll of tape, you know, and I think our manager cut some kind of deal, like a spec deal of some sort. And, we went in there and there was an awesome engineer and I kept asking questions and he would tell me how to do things. I said, can I go move the kick drum mic? And he's like, yeah. He's like, are you listening for something? I'm like, I just know it's not what is dialed up right now. And so I would go and move the kick drum and I would listen. I'm like, Dawn is like, you know, and then she'd play the snare. I'm like, is there, and it's so green. I don't know. Is there a way you can make the snare go lower? It sounds high to my ear. And she would be like, yeah. And then I would, you know, have her fiddle with the toms and Roger. And I would, you know, Chris, did you mind if I tweak your bass for a moment? And so I did stuff like that. And I just did things, you know, and it sounded good to me. And then thumbs up, and then we just did 3 takes. And the funny part was that the tape only took 3 takes. So if we wanted to do it again, we had to make sure we knew which one we didn't want.
Right.
You know, because then we're erasing over it, you know, because there's no Pro Tools, you know.
It's not endless recording.
So we do it, we pick the one, and we get done, and then David Tickle walks in. Because I didn't know mastering was the next day. You know, so he shows up all frantic, like, you know, because we didn't tell him what we were doing.
He's like, what are you guys doing? You're cutting
basically,
a song?
And then he's like, so I do my vocal. And so with him, we comp the vocal. And, you know, again, it's 3 takes. And you just, you know, like, okay, I like that, bop, bop, bop. Mix it. And then it makes mastering the next day. So that night, when it was done, I even said to my manager, I want production credit. And she's like, well, you can't have that because the deal's already done.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, you know, and I talked to Tom Wally. I called him. He's like, can't you be happy that you saved the song? It sounds amazing. You know, and I was like, and again, you know, you're green. I don't know how to fight that yet because I don't know what I'm fighting for.
Yeah.
All I know is that what I did is what sold 7 million records.
Yeah.
What I did is what became an iconic song, not what David Tickle did. It was what I did, you know? And so I just had to let it go because nobody was helping me fight that,
Wow.
you know? So whatever. Lesson learned. Never happened again.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah. Never happened again.
I wonder if that was part of the reason why it made it easy for you to make that decision years later of, do I want to be an artist or a producer?
Maybe. And then, you know what? I wasn't digging being an artist. I wasn't, you know, I mean, yeah, it was awesome. We gained all these, you know, people loved us. You know, we were great. We were a great band. And the record I didn't like. Personally, I didn't like the way it sounded because it sounded like the reason why I re-recorded What's Up.
Yeah.
You know, it was all polished, and the way my voice sounds on there, I call it her. You know, I can't even reference it as me. I think I've listened to that album maybe 7 times in my life, you know, and probably, you know, 4 of those times wasn't my choice.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so, you know, just moved on and trying to learn from that.
Okay, so you move on, but to stay with you being still in Four Non Blondes,
Yeah.
before you quit, the song blows up. What's Up blows up. Four Non Blondes become super successful. You sell 7 million albums. Like that's crazy. Like, how did your life change?
Well, I had food in the refrigerator.
Yeah.
Honestly, I didn't change that much. I kind of remained like a homeless, you know, poor girl, you know, like that just kind of wore the same type of clothes. I didn't all of a sudden start buying Gucci, you know, I didn't go there. I didn't buy a fancy car. I wasn't buying whatever. I did buy my mom a house.
That was
You
your
know,
first thing?
That was my thing.
Yeah.
Well, my first thing was when I was a kid, I gave my mom a check, a fake crayon check for $50,000. And I gave her the real check.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It was like pretty awesome. You know, that was like pretty amazing to see that I signed it, made it like a check and signed crayons and $50,000, you know. And then I give her the real check and she kept it, you know, and she had them next to each other. And I'm like going like, that's pretty awesome.
That's
you know?
amazing.
But I think what happened for me, the biggest change was I kind of got more depressed because I didn't like being told what to do. I didn't like all the interviews. I didn't like, it was stressful to see somebody not like us. Like I was reading those reviews and there was some pretty harsh reviews on us. It really affected me. If we're playing to 50,000 people and I saw 2 people over to the left yawning or not looking like they were having a good time, it would crush me. I'd go backstage after and cry, you know, because I felt like I'm a loser. And then I was like constantly trying to okay, we got to get better. We got to get blah, blah, blah. You know, like it became like too much for me, you know, like the pressure of being amazing was just too much for me. And the freedom, I didn't like traveling either. I still don't. And I felt like it wasn't really the band's fault, but I feel like there was a lot of like jealousy because I was getting a lot of attention. And mind you, I didn't care for it. I could sell shoes and get all the attention. I'm just a star. I'm just how I am.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I didn't become a star. I was born one.
Yeah.
I just knew that. I was always something special. So it never went to my head. I was just always Linda.
Yeah.
Not until now do I realize, oh, I've always just had this like kind of rock star personality, you know? So I would get upset. And so I would be like, if you guys want to be a part of the writing session, then you wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning, stay up with me and write songs.
Yeah.
You go do the interviews, but nobody wants to talk to you guys because you're boring, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, rise to the occasion. Like, I don't want to be carrying this weight. It felt like I was carrying a weight, and the weight I already was carrying of my own guilt and shame and, you know, disgust and disapproval of myself was heavy enough. And
Yeah.
so all of a sudden, I felt like I was carrying the weight of all these other people.
Mm.
And it became an overload. And so I was getting nuts. You know, I left in the middle of something, and I don't even know. I had no idea that this girl actually won a contest, but I'm like, where do you live? And she's like, I live in something, you know, some obscure place in Germany. I'm like, is it far? Can I go there? You know, and I hopped on a plane with this strange, you know, person, and you know, I end up in somewhere in Germany, and she was really kind to just let me hang out at her house, you know, and everybody's like looking for me. And then all of a sudden there's like all these, because we were huge in Germany. All of a sudden there's all these people at her house. People are calling her house. Is Linda Perry at your house? And it was written. And then I found out she was the contest winner, and that and then the magazine is saying, you know, like, oh my God, this girl really won the jackpot. You know, Linda Perry, whatever is at, you know, her house. And I'm like going, oh my God. Anyways, I had to get on my tour manager comes and finds me. I have to get on a plane, go back, and I'm like, but I don't want to go back. That's the point.
Yeah.
I don't want to be back. I don't want to be back. So it was getting bad for me. And then finally we were done. And then it was time to immediately start working on another record. And so the songs I was writing were very depressing. They were sad. It was in flight, you know.
Were you on drugs or drinking? Or?
I was drinking. Yeah. But wasn't doing drugs.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe I was. But I don't remember. But definitely drinking. But that wasn't the problem. Like, it was like I was just depressed, you know.
We're going to take a quick break to talk about this episode's sponsor, Ace Studio. As a producer and musician myself, I've been very impressed with how Ace Studio behaves more like a creative partner than just another plugin. One thing that really stood out to me is how quickly you can get ideas down, like turning a simple MIDI line into a usable vocal reference in minutes, instead of spending a ton of time comping and tuning just to hear the idea back. For me, that's a big deal. When you're in the middle of writing, you don't want to lose the moment. You can even take a rough vocal idea and build it out into something more fleshed out, choosing the style, the instruments, the overall vibe, just to explore where it could go before bringing in other people on the track. It can also listen to what you already have and suggest parts that fit around your track. You're still the one shaping everything. It's just helping you move faster. I think it's important to at least understand where these tools are going and to try them out for yourself and see if they fit in your creative process or how you feel about them. So if you want to check it out, go to acestudio.ai. Thank you for supporting the show. Let's get back to it. So you started making the next album, which ended up becoming In Flight, but at the moment,
everybody's going no, declining the songs. And now, mind you, as someone who's already spiraling out, and these are my real emotions, and you're saying rejecting them, it's only feeding the fire of like, I'm not good enough. My own feelings aren't good enough. And then I'm like going, okay, well, what kind of songs you want?
Yeah.
Well, more like the songs you're writing for the last record. And so I just disappear for like 5 minutes. I come out, okay, like this. And they're like, yeah, that's amazing. And I kept doing that. And then I was like, the second record would have been a total hit. Label loved it, the songs. And so we're recording these songs. And I mean, I'm so grateful for this conversation, but Dave Jordan is who was producing that record. And he saw the battle going on. And then he came to me one day. I was sitting at the piano at the studio. He's like, I'm watching what's happening, and I just want you to know you're one of the most talented artists I've ever met. And he's like, don't ever let anybody take that away from you. Mm-hmm. You have to believe in yourself. And it's your words that are important, not somebody else's. And if you don't use that, you're not going to make it, and something to that effect. And I was just like, I mean, I gave him a big hug and I said, thank you. And I cried. And then we took a break. And that's when I came back and I said, I'm done. Because it meant a lot for him to say that. You know, here's like a very seasoned producer, worked with some of the greatest, you know, bands of that time, you know, and him telling me that. And it gave me reassurance too. Like, I'm not crazy. Like, I am talented. I do have something to say. Anyway, so I left and that's what happened.
And you left at the height of your career.
I left.
You finally got money.
Everybody was like, thought I was insane. I mean, I had the reputation of being crazy already.
Yeah.
But everybody, you know, already, like, they were like, why do it now? Wait for the next record. I'm like, no, I won't be alive at the end of this. Do you understand? I am not going to survive this if I wait.
Yeah.
You know, I am supposed to do this and I'm going to go with my gut feeling.
It's crazy because you got to experience what a lot of people never get to experience, like having a smash hit on that level and playing it and feeling the response of 50,000 people singing it back to you. But then in your head, you're seeing 2 people that don't enjoy it.
Yeah.
And fixating on that. And then
totally. I think every artist may do that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have these conversations, but I'm certain that I am not the only one that doesn't feel good enough.
Yeah.
I'm not the only one that's beating themselves over the head, you know?
Of course.
And I think, honestly, that's part of it. It's part of the job. It's like, I mean, to me, I don't know who I would be. I mean, even Karen Carpenter was a depressed person and she looked like the girl next door and everybody thought she was like supreme, you know, just like cookie cutter clean. I mean, you couldn't get any cleaner than the Carpenters back then, you know?
Yeah.
But here's this woman hiding this very deep, dark secret.
Yeah.
So you know, it's like, if there's a deep, dark secret in the Carpenters, I'm sure it's like in everybody, every artist out there that's putting themselves out there.
Yeah.
So can't even own it as my own, you know, but we can only make those decisions. I can make the decision quicker and get out before I kill myself, you know?
Yeah. Was there a moment during Four Non Blondes when you loved it?
I love the band. I think, you know, Krista is a phenomenal bass player and super funny. Dawn, incredible drummer. Roger, incredible, you know, guitar player. And there were moments for my ego. You know, my ego was probably satisfied. That part. But then the other ego wasn't, you know, the one that was focusing on the 2 people.
Yeah.
My ego couldn't handle that.
Yeah.
Everybody needs to watch. Everybody needs to sit down and watch me right now. There's nothing more important than me right now, you know? And that's a pretty fucking big ego to have.
Yeah.
If you're sitting around, you know, thinking about that when I should be in the moment on stage. I should be in the moment, not focused on whether people are watching me or not.
Yeah.
And that's what was throwing me off.
Yeah.
I wasn't in the moment.
Yeah.
And when I'm in the moment, I'm shining.
Yeah.
I'm awesome. You know, I'm amazing. I'm gone. I'm in the music. I'm being a great performer. I am gone. I'm doing my thing. But when I'm out of the moment, which was most of the time on stage, it's like, oh God, get me off this fucking stage. I suck.
Well, you were also like in your 20s and all of a sudden experiencing this like super fame while not being happy and not having the, I guess, emotional infrastructure to carry yourself.
Well, also, I didn't have great tools.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't have any tools.
Yeah.
I had like a used Band-Aid and, you know, a fork with one prong and, you know, a roll of toilet paper with no toilet paper. You know, like it's like those are here, go build a life and go be, you know, an adult. So I was fucked going in, you know, and I was just trying my hardest to just figure it out very quickly. And I do. I'm fast.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, at some point you have to go. And well, the other thing too, I know what it's like being poor.
Mm-hmm.
I know what it's like living in the park and squatting in a car and breaking into an abandoned apartment. So
Yeah.
take it all away.
Yeah.
I know how to survive.
So I just go back to my life.
You know,
Yeah.
it's like, just take it all away. I'm not
Yeah.
afraid of losing it.
For
you
sure.
know, it's like, that was never, money and fame were never, ever a piece of my, you know, like how I was going to figure out how to make a decision to better myself. You know,
It wasn't even like a dream that you were chasing.
well, no, I wouldn't say that.
It
I
was?
loved attention.
Right.
And I wanted to be famous once I realized it.
Got it.
But I didn't understand what all that meant.
Yeah.
And even that still wasn't a part of it. Like, I still wanted all the fame. I just wanted to understand how to control it better and do something. And honest to God, I didn't like the Four Non Blondes songs. I loved What's Up. I loved Drifting, and I loved Spaceman.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else, I hated singing and performing.
Yeah.
I was always trying to write new songs to get better than the ones that we had, and nobody, you know, jumped on board. You know, I wanted to change songs in the middle set, and, you know, so when I went and did In Flight, I did that. Like, I had put bands together, and I would, like, before we would go on, I'm like, you know, I'm not feeling like playing this song. And then I would just write on stage. I would write a song on stage, and the band was so fucking good. They would just follow me.
It's awesome.
And it was amazing. And, you know, also I'd be playing a country song, and the people just thought I was absolutely nuts.
But your style is the tapped in flow in
Yeah.
writing. So
I'm
to find
confident.
a band around you that's doing that.
You can tell me I have to go play a song, play a show right now, and, you know, and I would have not one song. I would go, okay. I would be confident to go on that stage and just play a set and have not one song written.
Yeah.
I would just write it as I'm doing it. Like, I'm that confident with my creative, because I've never controlled that. That has always been in control of me, you know, and it just comes. Phew. Like, I just like open up and let it show up.
That's what you trust.
That's what I trust.
So here we are 30 plus years later, and Four Non Blondes is back together.
Yes.
I didn't see that coming.
I didn't see that coming. I'm the one that was telling everybody, don't even think about it. It's never going to happen. Never.
I've been watching some videos of you playing What's Up in front of these big festivals, and it's epic.
Yeah.
I gotta see it.
Yeah.
In person.
It's really good.
Yeah.
I have to say, I'm really happy that I let go of that, and I willed that one. I just went out in front of my studio, my lawn. I'm like, I'm open to Four Non Blondes.
Yeah.
That's all I said. I'm open to it. And then it was like a week or to 2 weeks. My manager calls me up and says Bottle Rock offered Four Non Blondes a set. And I was like, I laughed. I was like, of course they did.
And then you were like, universe, please give me something that'll make Four Non Blondes more relevant than ever. And then the universe was like, TikTok.
Yeah. I didn't even see that coming at all. I didn't even plan that one. It was like so weird, because we were already together, already playing shows, and then all of a sudden that thing shows up. I'm like going, what the is going on here? You know, but it was pretty awesome. You know, I have to say, I mean, it was like,
Dude.
Wow, we could not have planned that, you know, at all.
That's a lightning bolt from the universe. So the What's Up, Bees in the Trap remix TikTok trend that every celebrity has made, and all the big influencers. You did a couple with J-Lo that are really great. How you did both of them, or whatever, both ways. Yeah. So this thing, I'm assuming so first time you see this, you're like, what is this? Oh, that's funny. And then and then it just goes and explodes. Or was it already exploding?
I'm in the studio with my artist, Sophia Treadway, and we're working on her album. And she just like, you know, she's 21. She's that's what they do, you know. And she's like, your sound is blowing up. And I'm like, what?
My sound.
My sound. And I said that. I'm like, my sound, what are you talking about? She's like, your song. And then she shows me, I don't know who it was, but it wasn't anybody, it wasn't quite big yet, you know? And I see the thing and I'm like going, oh, that's crazy. And you can see that it's like blowing up, whatever. It's like it's getting like a lot of hits. And she's like, we should do one. I'm like, no, we're not doing that. But then I'm thinking, okay, I'm thinking, okay, if she's my artist, I'm trying to help her out. Okay, I'll do it for her because maybe it'll bring attention to her.
Yeah.
So I do it with her. And then it starts blowing up even more. And then we see the Sabrina Carpenter, we see all this. Now it's starting to show itself. And then I'm walking with my dogs and Rhodes, and I'm going to end up at the studio. It was a Sunday. So I eventually was going to get there, but we're on a walk. We're having breakfast. We're doing our Sunday thing. Jennifer, hey, I'm on my way to the airport. I'm going to stop by your studio and we're going to do that thing.
J-Lo.
Yeah. And I'm like going,
we're going to do that thing.
I'm like, what thing are you talking about? And I said, you know, I don't live at my studio, Jennifer. You can't just pop over anytime you want, you know? And I send that back to her. And she's like, your TikTok thing. And I'm like going, oh, okay. Well, lucky for you, I'm actually on my way there. I'll be there in about an hour and a half. And she's all perfect. But so it's so funny. She comes like a flash, like Jimmy Iovine did. She comes rolling in. She's like, okay, I'm going to do one and you're going to be in the back. And then blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay. And mind you, I'm getting to, I don't even understand what's going on yet because I've never been on TikTok. And so I'm like just doing what I'm told, you know, and she's really excited about it. So then she's like, okay, now you do it. And I'm going to be the one behind that's going to reveal. And she's just like, and it probably took 10 minutes for us to do. And then shoop, she's out. She leaves 2 pairs of glasses behind, you know, expensive glasses. So I got 2 pairs of glasses out of it. She gets out, leaves. And I'm like going, bye, you know, and then her guy, everybody posts it. And then, I mean, I think she got 40 or 50 million views on that. I mean, and then it really blew up and then everybody was doing it. But anyways, it was, I mean,
okay, so
it's like, it's undeniable. Like, what am I going to do? Run from it? It's like, you know what?
Embrace it. Everyone loves it.
I'm going to embrace this.
It's a way it makes
Normally
people happy.
I would have ran the other, like, fuck you. I'm not getting involved.
You would have found
in
a contest winner and flown to Germany.
Yeah, exactly. And then, but I was just like, you know, whatever, Linda, let it go.
Okay, so the first time you hear it, are you like, okay, you're hearing the chorus, yeah, great, and then all of a sudden, Bees in the Trap comes in, and
I had no idea.
What is this?
I had no idea, and then I'm like going, what is it? I didn't even care, honestly. I understood, and then I heard that it was like some kids that just put together, and then, you know, they were trying to get Nikki and I together to do it, and I'm like, whatever, you know, I don't care. Like it's done already. It's the one that dropped the needle for me was Martin Scorsese. You know, I was like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah.
This is over.
Next thing, please.
Martin Scorsese just did the trend. Out. Thank you. I'm out.
Well, here you are constantly evolving as you do. And now, you know, you get to check the box off the TikTok.
Yeah. I did.
Sound.
I had a sound trend, or what do you go viral? Go viral.
Yeah, well, What's Up has over 1 billion streams on Spotify, so that's nice.
Yeah.
For a song that came out way before Spotify.
Yeah, totally.
Pretty awesome. You end up making your solo record. You leave Four Non Blondes. You turn that album into In Flight.
Mm-hmm.
You work with Bill Bottrell. It becomes a mentor to you.
Mm-hmm.
You are becoming... You're going towards you don't realize, I guess, yet that you're going towards what's going to be this huge next chapter for you of being a songwriter and producer for others. You make this album. It's a sad album. It comes out. Some people really love it, but it's not a huge smash. You're coming off Four Non Blondes.
Yeah.
That was probably hard. in that moment where you were already
It was,
very
you know,
vulnerable?
actually it wasn't that.
Mm.
Interscope didn't promote it because Jimmy was mad that I didn't call it Four Non Blondes. He wanted me to call it Four Non Blondes.
So they kept you to your contract.
Yeah.
In order for you to still release it solo. They were like, we signed you. It doesn't
Yeah,
matter if
they
it's
let
not
the
Four Non
band
Blondes. You're
go.
still here.
And I didn't want that.
Oh, wow.
I thought they would let me go.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't know how it worked because, you know, I don't know.
Yeah.
So he wanted me to call the album Four Non Blondes. I'm like, why would I call me Four Non Blondes? I'm not Four Non Blondes.
Yeah.
And I hate that name. Why
Yeah.
would I do that? You know? And, you know,
Oh my God, you and Jimmy Iovine butting heads.
you know, so
It's a funny sight.
yeah. And I love Jimmy. So much respect. But I was like, that's not going to happen. Then there was some other drama going on between, you know, I was being used for something. I'm not even going to get into it. So I was being proven a point. So I felt like
From Jimmy?
not Jimmy, other stuff,
Okay.
but I was being used as an example. And on top of that example and Jimmy not happy with me, not calling it Four Non Blondes, basically the album was shelved.
Yeah.
They didn't put it out. Like I would show up at record store things, there'd be no records. My fans were like, found out that there's no promotion and tours, nothing, you know? And I'm like going, what? How come why would you send me to Philly and nobody knows I'm even playing? Like people would stumble
Crazy.
on knowing, like I was just walking by the venue and saw that you were playing, you know, and like there's been no promotion, no, you know, because we had flyers back then. There was no social media, you know, and you do the advertising on radio. They didn't do a radio campaign.
Yeah, you can't do self-promotion back then.
I had no publicists,
Yeah.
nothing.
Wow.
So I don't think the album failed. It's taken me years to realize that. The system failed me, you know? And I love that album. I think it's a beautiful record. And yes, it was so different than Four Non Blondes, and it probably would not have had the success of What's Up, but it was a solid record.
Yeah.
I feel like it would have done
Yeah.
a lot more than it did. But
Absolutely.
whatever. It's what you know what I got out of it? I got a lot of education on how to be a
Yes.
producer and
Yeah.
engineer and learn about all that stuff. Bill Bottrell was a massive mentor to me. He taught me so much. I learned a lot making that record. So that was what I got out of it.
Yeah. I mean, really, you were training for the next phase
Yeah.
that ended up coming to you,
Yeah.
coming your way.
I called him my professor.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
That's
he called me a
beautiful.
student and I called him the professor.
I love that.
So yeah, he was amazing.
That's amazing. And what a blessing because, yeah, so in this moment, you're depressed, you know, you're like an overlooked solo artist that didn't even get the chance
Yeah.
to try your solo career. But then within 2 years, you become like a super in demand producer because Pink comes to the table, Christina Aguilera comes to the table, and it's the whole game changed for you.
Yeah, it did. And I don't think, I would have had that understanding
Yeah.
if I didn't have the in-flight, you know, experience.
Yeah.
And which is interesting, you know, just what that album was about. It was all about, you know, struggling. And again, my theme is always, you know, flying off and into a new situation. And that whole record was about that,
Yeah.
you know. And here I was, you know, venturing towards this whole other career. And I didn't even know it yet, you know. And that experience helped me because after In Flight and all that knowledge, I went back to San Francisco and because I made the record here and I started finding bands and said, listen, let me produce you. I need the experience. Let me produce you and I'll give you, you know, a demo, whatever. And so I started doing that. I did that with a band called Stone Fox, Eyesore, a band called Tulane Blacktop. And I was good. I learned very quick and I dialed in really cool things and I felt like I was doing a really great job, you know. And then I went to another level. So
Yeah.
kind of that's what I think is wonderful about life. You know, if you read the signs, if you're open to all the things, the feelings, there's signs. We have signs all day long.
Mm.
And I haven't, this gut feeling, this I trust,
Yeah.
and I never think about how to move forward. I'm always moving, with this feeling of something wants me to turn right, not left. Just going to do it. Even though I'm supposed to go that way, I'm just going to go. Like every time I follow, I end up somewhere unexpected, but totally expected, So I just trust what the universe is giving. It's filled with so many gifts. And, I don't even question it at this point. So it's like, of course I ended up where I'm at.
Yeah.
And of course I'm where I'm at right now, and it's like, it's all full circle in a weird way,
Wow.
It's like I needed to go through this whole journey to get back to where I started.
Wow.
And I'm way better. And the album, oh my God, I just got to brag about the Four Non Blonde record. My record is amazing. I love it, but it's a very different record. My record is deep.
Yeah.
It's like, it's very thoughtful.
Yeah.
It's very emotional. It's a journey, it's a lot to take in. But Four Non Blonde record, it's like when the caveat of getting back together, I said, I'll play What's Up and I'll play Train, but I'm not playing any other song off of that record. And they were like, what are we going to play? I'm like, I'm going to write a whole new record. And so I just wrote. So 3 weeks later, I had our set, and I wrote it that way, I wrote it in the way of like
a show. I love that.
So, okay. So I have to think now. We're going to be playing a bunch of new songs in front of thousands of people.
People are going to show up.
And I got to make these choruses so simple that they can just jump right in after the second time of hearing it.
Yeah.
Like first chorus, they're going to know what I'm singing on the second chorus. So I just got to make these fun and dumb, but still, I'm never going to be thoughtless and not provoke an emotion. So, but it can't be too deep, Linda. You just got to touch the surface of things that you're feeling. But oh my God, I wrote the best album. It is so good. And I kept replacing them like I was trying to do back then. So we'd play these songs and then I could catch right away, people aren't digging this one. And then the next show, I replace it with another song. And awesome, this one sounds great. People are loving this one. I don't know if I believe me on this song. People are liking it, but I don't believe it. Ditch it. Figure out why I don't believe it, bring it back when I do, and then replace it. Okay, we'll play covers, whatever, and then, okay, I believe the song again. I figured it out. It was the lyrics. I didn't have the right lyrics. Pop it in, all of a sudden, there it is. There's the song.
What a great
right?
process.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was like all these songs and people just stayed. Nobody left. And then on top of it, I was putting What's Up in the middle.
So
of the set.
You gave them the opportunity to
I
leave.
gave them the opportunity because I wanted to know. And the
Yeah.
band was like, why are we playing What's Up in the Middle? Because I want to know that they want to stay after it.
Wow. Are we doing our job? Are we giving a good show
I want
outside?
to make sure that they stay afterwards. And if they heard a bunch of new songs and then they don't like it and then we play What's Up and they leave after, then I'm not doing my job. So, and when we played
that takes guts.
Totally.
Yeah.
But we played 4 or 5 shows like that. And then I was like, okay. And the band came to me and they're like, do you think that we can play What's Up last now? And I'm like, yeah.
We've earned it.
We earned it. So I did. Played it the last song. And then if they wanted an encore, we'd come out with something else. But I didn't want to do encores. I was like, okay, last song. Give them what they want,
So now that you're in this evolved place, slightly adjusted, how does it feel playing What's Up? Are you enjoying it now?
Oh, I've always loved playing What's Up. That was never a question. I respect that song. I've gotten up on karaoke stages because people see me in the room and ask me if I would go up and sing. I'm like, of course. Like I've never, like I worship that song. That song changed my life
Yeah.
and many others. It was not just my song. I cannot make that decision on my own.
Yeah.
You know, it's like when that song goes away, maybe I'll stop playing it.
Sure.
But as every decade, it has a resurgence. It's just something shoots up and What's Up is back into the game.
Yeah.
You know, but I love that song for what it is. And it's an awesome song.
Yeah.
It's a great song. It's not like some weird song that it's like cheesy to me. It's a great song that has so much, it's like relevant at any time.
Yeah, it really is.
It's going to be relevant next, you know, in 10 more years because there's always going to be some fuckhead that's fucking shit up, you know, for the American people or for the world. And we're always going to be saying what is going on. It's a statement that will forever. It's going to be popular on my deathbed. And it's going to have a resurgence when I die because people are going to bring it back up and go, that was an amazing song, you know? And I don't have any issue with that. What a blessing. Like,
unbelievable blessing.
I mean,
I was more so asking because 30 years ago, you were in that mental state when you were playing it and you were.
Yeah, no, that song saved me.
Yeah.
Honestly, Drifting and What's Up were the songs that were, I could emotionally get behind.
Why did you title it What's Up?
Well, because What's Going On was already an incredible song by Marvin Gaye, and I didn't want to step on that amazing song.
Yeah.
You know, and for some reason, What's Up also just sounded cooler, like What's Up? You know, and because that to me is the short, you know, the slang of what's going on.
For sure.
What's up? What's going on? What's up? So it was. I was fighting, you know, even saying what's going on, but it's like, I can't change that.
Yeah.
You know, but, you know, Marvin Gaye's What's Going On is one of the most iconic songs. And I just didn't want to step in there, you know, so I just called it What's Up because I just thought it was funny.
You're stepping into being a songwriter and a producer. You meet Pink. Pink has dropped an album, but she isn't Pink yet. You end up writing and producing Get This Party Started, which changes Pink's life, puts her in the stratosphere of her career. So how did you start working with Pink?
That was just a really random, crazy phone call I got from her. You know, some girl named Pink, you know, I've tracked you down. I stole your number out of my makeup artist's, you know, phone. And, you know, I want you to, you know, sing on I'm working on a new album. I want you to sing on it. And I'm like, and she was like, if I found your number, I could find out where you live, you know, like it was like that. And
kind of crazy.
I'm like going, who is Pink, you know? And then I'm like walking around my house, MTV's on, and I see this pink haired girl. And I stopped to watch it. And now the name's not on there yet. You know how it does Pink and whatever. So I'm just watching this pink-haired girl with a motorcycle outfit singing about bling, bling, ching, ching on like a motorcycle. And then it's over. And I'm like waiting for it. Like, is that Pink? And then it says Pink. And I'm like going, oh. And so I call her back. I'm like, hi, is this Pink? And she's like, yeah. I go, this is Linda Perry. I said, I think you have the wrong Linda Perry. I'm not hip at all, you know? And that's what I say to her. And she's like, oh, is this Linda Perry from Four Non Blondes? And you wrote Dear Mr. President? I'm like, yeah. And she's like, I got the right Linda Perry. And I had just written Get the Party Started as a joke. So I just wrote that as a joke. It was a total joke song because I'm an analog girl. Like, so what I learned from Bill was analog, you know? And so all the gear I bought was all like Fairchilds and Pultex. And, you know, I have my drums, my amps, and, you know, I am a hoarder when it comes to instruments. I have so much shit. I mean, I have equivalent to a music store, right? And so
I've seen the garage,
you know, and so I'm like going, I asked a producer friend of mine, I'm like, what is that sound that I'm hearing on everything? Like that pop sound. And he's like, oh, I can tell you exactly. There's like 3 or 4 things people are using. Okay, what are they? Triton keyboard, the Roland expansion cards. There's all a bunch of sound. I'm like, what is that? He's like, it's just, think of it as a bunch of samples, and you can trigger it, with the your MIDI keyboard. I'm like, what's a MIDI keyboard? And he's like looking at me. He's like, it's the MIDI keyboard that he's like, just plug it into your Triton and it will act as a MIDI keyboard. I'm like, okay. And what's next? And he said an MPC. I'm like, what is that? He's like, that's where all the drum samples are. And there's these big pads and you just, record your beat. And I'm like, interesting. And I'm like, and there was a 4th thing. It was a I want to say bass Taurus pedal, but it wasn't the one. It was like a little guy. Yeah, I can't remember the pedal, but it was a keyboard, but it was only for bass.
Yeah.
I'm like,
It was like a monophonic.
something like that,
yeah.
right? So I get all those things. I go to my room in my studio. I plug everything in. And I'm like, interesting. And I'm pushing on the MPC, and he gives me some of his cards. He's like, just put this disc in and it'll give you sounds. I'm like, great, thank you. So I'm like, that's the first beat. And I figure out how to record. Okay, there it goes. It's going all on its own. All right. Now I don't have Pro Tools or any computer. I'm just running through D88 at that time, because I'm in my simplified gear. So that's rolling. I'll just let that go for 3.5 minutes, and I'm just letting that beat go, right? So I'm like, and I go the Triton, and I find some percussions, and bongos. So I just start playing the bongos on that, and it's like, okay, and that's just all live, because again, I don't know how to edit, because now I'm just playing it live and whatever. And then I'm like, okay, I need a bass, and I try that bass, but I didn't like it. So I just pick up my bass and I play doom, 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 doom. And I'm like, okay, great. 3.5, minutes. I'm just playing that riff over and over. And then, it's like, so over and all this stuff. And then I get some strings and some weird on the Roland expansion, and the Triton has weird like I'm just finding like a weird clavinet. Like it's just weird I'm just finding melodies, and now the song, and I get my guitar, and like, oh, I need wah-wah, so I put the and then I could find fake horns on the Roland. I'm all, and then I'm like going, this is so fun. And so now I pick up my bullet microphone. Let's see, there's a harmonica microphone. I'm like, okay, just think of every cliche you can think of. And I'm like going, get the party started. And then I just made up the fucking words. Like, I have never, stunner, number 1, superstar. Like, all these words are just coming to me. And I'm like laughing, going, holy shit, I just wrote a fucking dance hit. I'm like blown away by how brilliant I am in my stupidity. And I'm just doing this as a joke, I'm just like, it's a joke. I'm just like saying it in this weird character as a joke, and all the stuff that I just did was a joke, and in that joke I just wrote get party started, and I make a mix of it, put it on my DAT. I go, transfer it to a CD. I'm like, okay, I got a hit right here. So one of the things a lot of people don't know is I sent this song. I have to back up because it's actually important. I always skip this piece because it really ends up being with who it's supposed to be. But I had met Madonna in this club. So I'm seeing her. I'm beelined on her because that's my well. That's my,
for sure.
That's the one I want, right? So I'm looking at her, and I walk up to her, and I'm like, do you believe in seizing the opportunity? And she's like, of course I do. And I say, my name's Linda Perry. And she's like, I know who you are. And so right there, I was like, oh,
wow,
Madonna knows who I am.
Wow.
I'm like, I wrote this song and I would love to send it to you. So she's like, well, do you know Guy? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, well, send it. And I'm like, amazing. So I send it to Guy.
Guy Osiri.
Guy Osiri.
Yeah.
So Guy responds back, this is not for Madonna. And I'm like, okay, no problem. So then that's when I take it, I'm going to go meet Pink. And so I'm like, maybe I'll just bring it and give it to her. So we meet, we got along amazing. And she's like, again, maybe write a song, sing backgrounds. I'm like, whatever. So I give her the song. I actually brought you the song that I wrote. I don't even know what I would do with something like this. It's like, it's not me at all. I'm never going to record this song. So I give it to her. I get a call back from her 2 days later. It's like, okay, L.A. Reid says my first single. And I'm like, awesome. Cool. And so then she wants to write more with me. And I never meant to produce or anything. Like,
Sure.
They're all demos,
Wow.
And so
Wow.
we just like wrote 15 songs. They picked 7 of them that she picked 7 of them that she liked. And I got fired in the process because L.A. Reid thought I was taking her way too far. And I'm like, you're crazy. This girl, it's like, I asked him point blank, how many fans does she have? How many records does she sell? He's like, almost 2 million. I'm like, well, she may lose those 2 million, but she's going to sell 10 million records.
Yeah.
And Alicia was like looking at me, and I bet her a Bentley. I said, I bet you a Bentley, which you fucking owe me, still, that this record is going to do 10 million and plus. She had no idea.
Wow.
And then she got teamed up with Scott Storch, and he did some really great songs, Dallas Austin, and the song, Get the Party Started blows the up.
Blows up.
And she, I think, sold 12, 13 million records on that album.
Yeah. Where's the Bentley?
Yeah. Where is my Bentley? Alicia Moore.
You can send it to the studio house. It doesn't have to be the living house.
So anyways, so it was like that really kind of really blew things up.
Off your joke song.
Off my joke song. But then the songs we wrote together are really great. I mean, she was amazing to work with because then like I would just like go, all right, so she's like, well, how are we going to write? I'm like, well, I'm going to play anything that randomly is going to come to me. And then you're just going to start singing. And she's like, but I have no words. I'm like, exactly. You're just going to sing. You're just going to feel this out. So there was this song called Eventually that still to this day is one of the most beautiful songs. And I start playing the chords and she's like, at first a little hesitant. And then I just looked at her and she closes her eyes and she ad-libbed to the T every word, every melody.
Amazing.
Song done. And maybe we had to punch in a couple flubs. But it was like, and she was like, I've never done that before. I'm like, well, that's what I'm talking about. There's a whole world going on in you that you have no idea about. And the only way to discover it is by just letting it come out and not try to control your words. And that's how we wrote the rest of the songs.
That's a producer right there.
Come on, we're going to try rapid fire really quick and see if it works.
So this is what happens when you write a bunch of questions and then you get a great guest like Linda Perry who gives you the answers. So we're going to try to speed it up. Okay, let's move on to, well, we already talked about Beautiful at the top of this.
Also, I didn't know you were going to be covering my whole life. I'm surprised you didn't go back into the womb.
You should watch the pod, Linda. People like the deep dive. The womb gets covered in the documentary. I was trying to say, I don't want to repeat anything that's in the doc.
I know.
All right, let's go to Gwen Stefani.
Okay.
Oh, Lord. Okay, so in 2004, you write What You Waiting For. Oh, man. That's like one of my favorite Gwen Stefani songs. Super fun. Another party song of yours.
Yeah.
So is that coming out of Pink and then being like, let me just keep
Well,
these
that
party songs going?
was after Christina. So Jimmy now just thinks I'm gold. Again, we always maintain, he's like, you're going to go work with Linda Perry because he's forcing her to go have a solo career, go make a solo album.
Right.
And at the time she wasn't ready,
Wow.
and he was like, you need to go make a solo album. I want you to go work with Linda Perry. So she shows up, we kind of know each other from Interscope back in the day, right? So we have small talk, and she's just like, I mean, dragging her feet. She does not want to be in there. And she's just like, she's scared. I didn't even want to do this. I don't even know if I'm ready to be in the studio. No offense to you, blah, blah, blah. I've never worked with a woman before, blah, 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 blah.
Wow.
Like every excuse was being pulled out, but she was amazing. So funny. She's humble, dry wit, but like she's sharp. Like she's a sharp, she's great. Gwen is awesome. So I'm like, I'm feeling drained by her energy right now because it's like I can feel her like hesitation. Like she's not doesn't want to go there right now.
Yeah.
And so I said, why don't you go home and let's reapproach tomorrow. So we get nothing done. So she walks, she's like, okay, all right, sorry, okay, I'll be back tomorrow, whatever. And so she leaves. And I'm like going, what is this girl waiting for? Like, what is the deal? Like, she's got this incredible opportunity, but it's like she's waiting for something. And then I just went to my MPC and I just start putting this beat together. And I'm just like, the guitar part, that comes out. And then I just do everything. Like, it was like one fluid movement. It was just this whole thing that just came out. I was moving so quickly. I didn't even know what time it was. It was just happening. And then I grabbed the microphone. I know that I can't do the verse, but this melody is, what you waiting for? So I lay that whole thing down. So I lay down the ahs and the what you waiting for. And then I call it a night. I think it's like 11 or 12 at night, whatever. I leave. I come back in the morning before she gets there. And she's like, seems a little bit more chipper. And she's like, what are you doing? I'm like, and I push play and the song plays. And she's like, holy dude, where did that come from? And I said, it came from you. And I go, this is what your energy inspired yesterday, because I'm trying to figure out, what are you waiting for? It's time to go. It's like, you're Gwen Stefani.
Yeah.
You don't need No Doubt. Like, you're going to be amazing, right?
Incredible.
Yeah. And so she was just like, lit up. And then she started coming up with melody ideas, and we started trading off.
Yeah.
She's like, okay, you do one, and then I'll do one, and I'll do one. So we started taking the best of our melodies and the verses. And so then she wrote the lyrics, for all the verses. And, maybe I chimed in a couple places. And she's like, these are all different characters. And so I'm like, light bulb, and then so I go put a 67 up. I put a 57 up. I put like, this is going to be good with a 251. I'm going to put the U47 for this character. I put all the names on them.
Wow.
And she's like, what are you doing? I go, you're going to sing it like this. So this lyric is this microphone. This lyric is this. This one, you're going to just bounce around. So she was and on the lyrics, I wrote the microphone. So I wrote microphone 251, 47, whatever. And so and I wish social media was popular then, because to watch her, she was like, how's the song the top? And then what amazing, that was live. So I just sat at the piano, had one microphone up, and I came up that intro, and I'm like, we got to sing this. And she was like, oh my God, I love it. And then I had everybody in the studio come and applaud, like, woo, Gwen, and I just recorded that, the applauding. And then she's all, what an amazing, so tick tock, like a scary situation. Take a drink, you feel then her. And then it was like that,
on all the microphones.
It was amazing, and she nailed it. It was amazing. It was like great. And so I loved recording. That's the way I recorded. I wanted to like, if we're going to be in a character and this is how you're going to sing it live, then you got to know how to do it. You got to know when to change your character. So anyway, so that's where that came from. And then we kept writing, and then she became such a muse. Like every time she would leave, I'd come up with another idea. And then she would come in. She's like, dude, you got to slow down, because she was good with me coming up with the music ideas, and she would do the lyrics and melodies, you know, and sometimes I would have melodies.
You were the band.
You know, and I was the band. So, and it was super fun. And I loved working with her. It was such a great record.
It's crazy to think about you doing that and you giving her what you waiting for.
Yeah.
And that mantra for her when she doesn't want to step out into her solo career. She's
and
like,
then
you
Jimmy,
gave her the fuel.
After we did the vocal that day, Jimmy came by.
Yeah.
And he said the same thing. We play him. She's like, well, you got your first single. And I'm like, yes.
Let's go.
And so, yeah. So it was just like, you know, it was like this thing, you know. So but, you know, it's like, it's interesting because when you work with the right people, great things happen. When you work with the wrong people, bad things happen.
Yeah.
You know, and so I had to go through that as well. You know, it wasn't always, you know, whatever. But then I kind of got less interested in having the hit with the person and just started kind of exploring, you know, okay, I got to go explore what this is all about.
How does it feel to make these massive hits for people and giving it to them?
It feels great. I mean, I feel like I did my job.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like it's a job.
Yeah.
I'm getting brought in to do something and I'm doing it. And I love it. Like, I think about it. I dream about it. Like I can't wait. Like when I'm working on something like Four Non Blondes and you know, they were just in last week or this week, I'm losing time. And I had written 3 new songs and we were recording them. I just can't wait to get to the studio and work on them because it's like, I think about it all night. You know, it's super fun.
Okay. We're going to skip ahead because we only have 9 minutes and I want to be a good friend / host of this podcast since I'm producing today.
Yes.
Okay. And for the Linda Perry fans that are going to be mad that I didn't address XYZ, we will next time. So here we are in 2026. I would love to get your thoughts on where we're at today in music, specifically with AI and AI music production. And how do you feel about everything that's happening right now? And have you tried any of the tools, the stem separators, obviously not like the prompt to music, but like, are you experimenting with anything?
No, I hear about it. And people, I mean, I don't have that savvy. I'm not tech savvy. I can figure things out with big knobs and, you know, amps and things like that, you know, but I don't get involved with that stuff, not because I don't want to. It's just simply 1, I don't have time for it. 2, I really don't truly want to, in a sense, because it's too much information. I feel it's distracting. But I think that there's always these things that come in and people like start running and, you know, the sky is falling. And if anything, AI will be helpful, I think. I think it'll help people who aren't great songwriters be better songwriters. And it'll help great songwriters be better songwriters because even if they are having a dry spell or a slump, whatever, and they type in their own stuff, hey, remember, this is stuff you did. So I think that you know, people put on records right now to be inspired.
Yeah.
I think it's just going to be like that.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, let's put on that AI thing. I want to hear what they did. Oh, that's interesting. I'm going to try that. So maybe it'll make people more experimental.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll make people that aren't great be better, you know, because then it'll give them somewhere to go or learn or get educated. Maybe it, you know, will make it really present who the non-talented artists are.
Yeah.
You know, and all of a sudden those will disappear. I mean, I don't know what the difference would be an AI artist compared to a really bad artist that's out, you know, right now. Like, which one's better? I don't know. There's so many artists, I can't even figure out who they are.
Absolutely.
I can't decipher between each other, to be honest. It's not that they're bad, but it's like, you know, when I make music, I'm trying to figure out how I could do something that will affect somebody in a good way, be relevant
Yeah.
or better myself. It could help some kid, you know, I don't know. I'm not looking to make money
Mm-hmm.
or to be popular and famous or have a hit. I'm not saying that's the right way to be, but that's the only way I
Yeah.
know how to be an artist.
Yeah.
But then there's a bunch of people that want the fame, they want the followers, they want to make the money, they want the influence. Again, not saying that's the wrong way to be, but I don't know how artistic you can be with that approach.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like you can be a Kardashian that does nothing for the world with all the money that they have. But, you know, also, I don't know, maybe they're doing things that we don't know about, you know, and they just keep it a secret.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's hard to figure out what is best for music. I think we can only just stay in our lane and just do what is best for us and what is the most honest.
Yeah.
And if somebody is to AI their way to the top,
They figured it out.
they figured it out.
They figured out
you
the
know?
modern
And then
life.
if people are digging that, well, then we know who those people are voting for at the Grammys.
Absolutely.
You know? It's like, it's kind of like there's no answer.
Yeah.
There's no right or wrong. I can only just go, I don't like that. It's just opinion.
Sure.
I know I don't like that.
Sure.
So I'm just going to stay here.
Yeah.
So I don't deal with that stuff because I don't want to.
Yeah.
It's distracting. There's enough distractions in the world right now. I want to just focus on how I can be the best at what I can. And hopefully I can turn a few heads or two,
Yes.
you know, in the
Absolutely.
process.
Beautiful. So in the documentary, there's a lot of great people. And it's so clear that Dolly Parton and Brandi Carlile and Christina Aguilera, all these people really love you. How does that make you feel?
So funny. I don't think I've ever been asked that before. The funny thing, honestly, when you first said that, I'll be total honest. I'm wondering how much that was for show, for being on camera. That's where my self goes. Like,
That's the automatic Linda Perry.
yeah, I go right
response.
to like, well, do they really, like, maybe was it for show because they were asked and it's a documentary. So of course they have to say nice things, you know? So, you know what I mean? But then rational grown up Linda comes in. That's the child in me that I'm still dealing with. And then the rational is like, you know what? Yeah, I love all three of those people. Why can't I accept that maybe they love me too?
Mm.
You know? So amazing, because they're all three extremely powerful people, extremely talented people, wise. And Dolly Parton wouldn't say she liked me if she didn't. She doesn't do stuff like that. Christina has no reason to say it, and definitely Brandi doesn't, you know? So I feel respected.
Good.
And one of the things that I said when I left Four Non Blondes is I don't need people to love me, but I want to be respected, and I want credibility.
Yeah.
That's what I was seeking, respect and credibility. And I feel like I can honestly say I've earned that, and I have it.
You did it. You got it.
So that's what that means to me. I got respect and credibility.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Final question. Short question. Every watch has a story. What's the story of your watch?
Okay, so I'm going to tell you the story of this watch. This watch is broken. It's a Rolex, a gold one that Sarah Gilbert gave me. It's never kept time. I've never wound it,
Can I see
ever.
it?
Yeah. It's broken on the side. I should have taken it in years ago, but it was the nicest present that, you know, it's a gold Rolex. You know, I would have never expected to get such a
It's beautiful.
great gift. And I wear it even though I have no idea what time it is.
It's okay.
But it was just a very thoughtful, beautiful gift, and was such a nice. I mean, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't like watches. You know, I don't wear watches. I don't care about time. You know, unless somebody's telling me I have to be somewhere. But I look at it and it reminds me. Sometimes it's just like that. You know, and I wear it like that. But it just reminds me of this beautiful, incredible, thoughtful gift that Sarah gave me, and so I cherish it.
But that's why that's the most beautiful thing about watches. That's why I love them so much, because for them being a timepiece, it's not about that it's 2:00 and you need to go right now. It's about the time in which it meant when it was given to you and what it represents to you, and it reminds you of that time every time you put it on. So I love that. Well, Linda Perry, ladies and gentlemen, we love you, Linda. Thank you so much for coming over.
Thank you.
Make a ton of noise for the greatest in the game, Linda Perry.
Go with Elmo, 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 go with Elmo.
This is the stuff, man.